The Canal Adventure. Anya, a young and adventurous tourist, was visiting Amsterdam. She had always dreamed of taking a canal ride, and on her last day in the city, she finally got her chance. Anya booked a tour with a small, independent company. The boat was small and intimate, with only a dozen passengers. Anya took a seat at the front of the boat and eagerly awaited the start of the tour. The tour guide, a friendly and knowledgeable man named Hans, began by explaining the history of the canals and pointing out some of the city's most famous landmarks. Anya was fascinated by the city's rich history and its beautiful architecture. As the boat cruised along the canals, Anya noticed a group of young people swimming in the water. They were laughing and splashing each other, seemingly oblivious to the danger of swimming in such a busy waterway. Anya felt a pang of envy. She loved swimming, but she knew that it was too dangerous to swim in the canals. She turned to Hans and asked him why the group of young people were allowed to swim in the water. "It is technically illegal," Hans replied. "But many young people do it anyway. They think they are invincible." Anya shook her head. She knew that the young people were taking a risk, but she couldn't help but admire their carefree attitude. She wished she could be just as carefree. As the boat approached a bridge, Hans slowed down and pointed out a small, concrete platform that jutted out into the canal. The platform was used by maintenance workers to access the bridge. Suddenly, Anya had an idea. She wanted to swim from the boat to the platform and back. It would be a risky undertaking, but she was confident that she could do it. Without hesitation, Anya stood up and jumped into the canal. The water was cold, but Anya didn't mind. She stroked towards the platform, her heart pounding with excitement. As Anya got closer to the platform, she realized that it was smaller than she had thought. She would have to be careful not to fall off. She reached out and grabbed the edge of the platform and pulled herself up. Anya stood on the platform for a moment, catching her breath. She looked back at the boat and saw Hans staring at her in disbelief. She waved to him and then jumped back into the canal. Anya stroked back to the boat, feeling a sense of accomplishment. She had done something adventurous and exciting, and she hadn't been hurt. When Anya reached the boat, Hans helped her back on board. He shook his head and smiled. "You're a brave young woman," he said. Anya smiled back. She knew that she had taken a risk, but she also knew that it had been worth it. She had learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes, it's important to look before you leap, but other times, it's important to take a chance and follow your heart. Moral of the story: it's important to weigh the risks and rewards before taking action. Sometimes, it's important to be cautious, but other times, it's important to be brave and take risks.